will be busted. But everything else, well, let me see here. More on Conditioning by Gary Hammonds. Let me ask you something. I mean, I'm just talking to you. Yeah. Put yourself in a position as to who you are. Who would you like to learn about conditioning from? Would you like to learn about conditioning from a dog peddler that smashed 1 or 2 dogs in his life, conditioning 1 or 2 dogs in his life, and neither one of them was in shape enough to win? Both of them lost. And don't know nothing about conditioning a dog. Don't know nothing. The reason he don't know nothing about conditioning, because he ain't ever conditioned no dogs. All he's done is buy and sell and breed, and he got him a reputation when he bought up all them dogs that me and George Gilman and me and a number of more people over in Fort Worth bred up with that alligator family. And he bought up all those dogs about the time George Gilman died, and he dealed them all off, and he had a yard full of old cur dogs that had been stopped in rows, and about the time we'd go to put the pistol to their head, he'd walk up and say, "Why don't you let me have that dog? That dog won't stop for me," and everything. And he'd take everybody's cur dogs home so people wouldn't have to kill them, get rid of them, bury them and all. He'd gather everybody's cur dogs when we'd roll dogs and everything. That's the way he did for years. That was what basically his yard was. In other words, he'd give $25 for a dog, $15 for a dog, then quit. Just to have him another dog. Then he gathered up them alligator dogs and sold them, and there were some good dogs that he turned in that time. Some good dogs in them late 70s and early 80s. He sold some good dogs that he gathered up around over there. And I know of several of them that he changed the papers on. And then when he runs out of all those dogs, he ain't got nothing but that yard of crap there that he had. And then he has a few of them alligator dogs that he breeds into that and produces some puppies and everything. But then he sells all that kind of crap, and people find that out real quick. Now he can't even hardly sell a dog. They say his yard stinks over there so bad you smell it for miles. 100 dogs has been on that yard for 10 or 15 years. I mean, that's what I was telling you about a dog peddler's yard. But what I'm getting at is, why do you want people like that to write stories about conditioning? Now, Gary's a good writer. He can write some interesting stories that a whole lot of people will have interest in reading. But conditioning? I mean, use your head. You don't want to learn something or read something from somebody like that, do you? Well, your readers don't either. I mean, get Jerry Holcomb or Danny Burton or some of them guys that have matched 30 or so dogs or something like that. Get them guys to write you a story on conditioning. Then you got an interest, just like I will and just like everybody else will. Hey, these guys here, they've been down the road. They did the things that they're talking about. They know more about it. But this guy here, Gary Hammonds, my gosh, man, use your head.